What is it about the 60s, 70s, or even 80s Seiko watches that captures the attention of watch collectors worldwide? Regardless of whether one has a $50 watch collection or $50,000, there is something about vintage Seikos that intrigues and captures the basic enthusiast all the way up to the serious collector. Is it not the romance? Is it not familiarity? There's some sort of physical and emotional connection that this generation has to the watches of their fathers and their grandfathers. Let's check them out. Some of these beautiful vintage Seiko watches, we lived them and we experienced them through the eyes of Hollywood and the big screen. Others we saw go into the outer limits of our sky, in a round tube with flames coming out of the tail, in rockets, in spaceships. It was amazing. Yet still other watches went to war and survived attack upon attack from gunfire and dwelt in damp, unhospitable rainforests. And many of these spent time in the depths of the world's oceans. These are the watches of heroes, the men of old, the men of renown. These classic timepieces have become immortalized in the hearts and souls of men and have a lifespan that lives way beyond the original wearer's own mortality. Welcome to Seiko. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live on the earth. At some point in time, you have either owned a Seiko, know of someone who does own one, or have heard about them, good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever the case, the brand's history and longevity cannot be ignored by this generation and many generations to come. For me, the late 60s and the majority of 70s produced some of the most fun, quirky, unusual design concepts and ideas that set something big in motion. You see, every kid growing up loves to play with toys and tools, and that's exactly what Seiko has been doing for as long as I can remember. They've been supplying us with fantastic toys and fantastic tools. Some of the watches are intended for serious professionals and have a purpose suited accordingly. These tools are not to be snuffed at. These watches were way ahead of their time and laid the groundwork for future endeavours. Yet other watches were designed for just the average Joe, and to put it bluntly, just for plain fun. They looked good, they felt good, they were vibrant and bright, just really great stuff. I think the vast audience and price point captured by Seiko is why this company has managed to survive and thrive through wartime, peacetime, and even pandemics. Today, we are living in the year 2021. And from my personal observation, I see that there is a powerful force of delusion and deception. It's blinding the eyes and hearts of men. What am I talking about? I'm glad you asked. You see, thousands upon thousands of misaligned bezels and chapter rings are being churned out day after day, and as end users, we are blinded by the light of the past. Regardless of what we receive today, if it's good, bad or indifferent, if it has faults or not, we always find excuses. We always try to connect it to the past glory of Seiko. DHL, FedEx, UPS, they ring our doorbell and we are handed a parcel. And like a little boy in a lolly shop, we quickly open the box, and whether it is good, bad or indifferent, we put a smile on our face without complaint because we have received a special toy. We've received our special little unit. We've been waiting for it. It's finally here. In fact, the excuses that we have been accustomed to hearing and swallowing go something like this. If it ain't misaligned, it must be a fake Seiko. You see, we've convinced ourselves that the real Seikos have to have issues, quality control issues, and that's half the problem. It's like a poisonous doctrine of statements that are being burnt into our minds and even into our core. It's such a powerful, formidable force that it causes us to forgive and forget. To forgive that we've received a faulty or sub-quality product. It's totally true, but totally unbelievable. From what I can tell, it must be the romance and passion from previous generation watches. These have developed a cult-like status that is so strong that a spirit of delusion has filled the heart and minds of men to the point of madness. We must be losing our minds. Personally, having had countless beautiful historical Seiko timepieces myself over the years, I can fully appreciate the magnetism that these watches have to both young and old at heart. There is a story to tell, there's a movie to see, a historical record smashed at some point in time in the depths of the ocean or the harshest environment on Earth. There's definitely something there. Vintage Seiko has set the groundwork and we've all been hooked. It's like a disease that empties the pockets of each and every one of us growing up, and yet it won't go away. 30 years after owning your first Seiko, today one still craves the brand new current model, just to get a piece of the pie. Maybe, just maybe, get a slice of history and a part of something bigger than their own lifetime. But can you? My question is, can you purchase a current day Seiko with all its bells and whistles accompanied by the baggage of bad quality control and still get a piece of that pie, that vintage pie? Or is it all a delusion? Well, the answer is yes. Yes? Yes to what? Is it a delusion, or can you inherit this feeling and sense of belonging to the past from these current offerings? Honestly, and I'm going to be quite frank here, I think it's better if I leave that answer up to you. Welcome to Vintage Seiko.